Okay, so for a little bit of context, I'm going to this chess tournament today, and I need to do good in this tournament and all the other tournaments that I play in because I need to hit 1900 before the summer. Because there's this chess camp in Charlotte that I really want to do with like Drew Polgar, Daniel Naroditsky and stuff, but I need to increase my rating from 1794 to 1900 before the summer. Okay, and as usual, I'm late again. It's like 9:45 right now, and the tournament starts in 15 minutes, but I live 30 minutes away, so it's okay. I'll just play Blitz. Alright, I just finished the first round of the tournament. I wasn't able to get footage of me going into the tournament because I was pretty late, but I was paired against a 1622 rated player. I'm about 200 points higher rated than him, and we drew. I'm not too happy with this result, but I honestly think he should have won though, so I can't complain. I'm actually really excited to recap this though. It was an insane game. I just finished round 2. I was against someone with exactly the same rating as me, and I completely should have lost that game, I think, because there's a moment where I just blundered a pawn for free, and she missed it though. So I'm lucky, and I went on to win that game with beautiful endgame technique, so I'm really happy about that one. I'm going to lunch right now. I always get this Mexican place, and it's like that fire burrito tacos. That game was like, I definitely messed up in the opening because, okay, I mean, you'll see, but I just wasn't playing what I studied on Chessable. I don't know why. I actually wanted to castle long and go for like a kingside attack, but like it's a tournament. I'm not gonna do that at a tournament. I'm not gonna do like stupid stuff at a tournament. Alright, I just finished lunch. I had the burrito tacos again, and I also got some burritos to go because usually after round 3, I'm like really hungry. So I just got an extra snack just in case. And I have to log in for these last 2 rounds because if I win, then I'm most likely going to get first place in the tournament. And this is a scholastic tournament, so there's no money prize for first place, but obviously I want to win like the medal or the trophy or whatever, and I want to just brag that I won first place against all these strong players. Okay, game 3 just finished. I was against the 1500 and he completely destroyed me in the opening, but for some reason he forced a draw. Like I don't know why. I was up a pawn. He could have won in exchange, but I would have been up a pawn. But like I'm just completely paralyzed, and my pieces are just like so bad, and he's so active. He's probably gonna win material soon. So I don't know why he wanted to draw, but I'm like, I drew against someone of 1500 that's like 300 points lower than me, but honestly it's better than a loss, and so I'm fine with that. I'm pretty happy, honestly. So there's no chance for me to get first place anymore in the tournament, but as long as I win my last game, I'll definitely gain rating, and that was the whole point of this tournament, to gain rating, to try to hit 1900 before the summer. Alright, so honestly, all of my games this tournament were pretty crazy, but I'm just gonna analyze the first and the last game with you guys because the last game was by far the worst game I played in a while, and I'm just pretty disappointed, honestly. And then the first game was also just pretty crazy. There's some cool tactics and some interesting middle games. So let's start with the first one. Like I said, this one ended in a draw, but it was super dynamic during the middle game, and that's because it started off of a Dutch. Now, I have the black pieces here, and I have been learning the Dutch recently for the past few weeks, and I really like the dynamic position it gives and kind of like the imbalance and opposite side castling that leads to some checkmating attacks usually. And it's basically just like a Sicilian against d4. So this is all pretty normal stuff. We go into this kind of a weird line. After bishop f4, I'm lost. Like, I know it's only the 5th move, but I just completely forget what I'm supposed to do here. And I mean, I don't think I played too bad, but I mean, of course, this position, like h3 isn't like covered at all in my course, so I'm not supposed to know what to do against this, but my idea is pretty simple. Just castle c6, eventually play e5 and go for like something like this with bishop e6 and h6. But I play e6 because I get my lines mixed up. I think that I'm supposed to play e6, queen e7, knight c6, bishop d6 and castle, but this is wrong. I'm supposed to just castle here, play h6, king h7, a5, and go for this e5 break eventually. or just play like knight c6 and c6. Just not this. This is a completely different line that I mixed up. And fortunately enough, though, it should be fine for me. Like, I go for this queen e7, knight c6, and he drops back to h2. And I mean, okay, this is just a bad move because it's unnecessary. I don't know what I was scared of. There's no reason to waste tempo on h6 to prevent like knight g5 or anything, because this is not a threat. Knight g5 is not a threat. I should have just castled here and like stopped some silly stuff with my king in the middle. I think I played this because I actually wanted to long castle like this and kind of go for an attack eventually here, but it's not great because he has a very easy way to attack me, and it's kind of harder for me to attack him because I have to slowly play h6, g5, g4, and he can just spam push his pawns and bring all his major pieces like this. So I shouldn't have gone for that. That's already a huge mistake I'm making. But here he blunders with b4, and this immediately, it was +1 here, and it equalizes because this is just a free pawn. I was calculating that if I take, he has queen a4, and here, and he's winning the piece now. But I didn't see that here I can take on d5 with the knight, because now I open up my bishop, and he can't take this because I just recapture here, and now this is hanging, and now this is no longer a threat, so I can play bishop d7. So I just completely missed that I could take here with the knight, and I was calculating that if I take here like this, then I just have nothing after he recaptures like this. And because this loses for me, and this is the only line I calculated here, and since it didn't work, I didn't play it. But I just should have been more open-minded and just seen this idea. I just don't know why I didn't see this. I had an hour on the clock at this point. I just was not looking. This tournament was really not great, like pretty bad tournament. So instead, I just castle, ignoring the free pawn and giving back the advantage, and I force my knight to go back, and now this knight is just horrible. My pieces are really bad. It's almost +1. And yeah, I tried to slowly untangle. I played knight d7 to stop c5, but it's kind of unnecessary, and I should have just played b6 to try to go bishop b7, because this bishop is beautiful here, and it also reinforces c5 like this. But he goes here trying to play c5 again, and I just make a pawn break e5, very standard pawn break in the Dutch, and the idea is just to grab some space, and I mean, all my pieces are well placed to defend e5, so I figured that this was the right time to play. But it wasn't a okay, actually, yeah, it was a bad move. It gives him 0.5 advantage because it allows him to play c5, and now like, wait, actually, why is this so bad for me? I guess this bishop is just a monster here, and I'm probably gonna lose material because my stuff is really weak, and he just has all his pieces pointed at me, and I just don't have too much here. So I guess I'm forced to play e4 and kind of hang on to these pawns, but I'm actually losing a pawn here. So yeah, I guess this is why. But he misses it and plays d takes e5, which gives me back some advantage, and I give him back some advantage, but I mean, it's not too big of a deal. I go here, try to reinforce my knight, but this allows knight d4, which just kind of exploits, this is just an outpost for the knight. It's a really strong square, and it kind of just exploits the weak light squares here. I mean, of course he misses it though, since he's like 1600, I think, so he takes here, and I mean, it's still pretty good for him. Yeah, +1, like, I'm honestly, you could consider me losing here. b6 isn't too great. He still misses knight d4 because this is just a beautiful square for the knight. I think the idea is probably to like play f4 and bishop f3, just amazing square for this bishop and kicking away my knight. That's probably the idea. But I mean, we're both have a good amount of time left, but I mean, obviously we're not playing too well. Yes, bishop d7, I guess, and now I'm in full defense mode. I'm trying to trade off the dark squared bishops because this is honestly a monster dark squared bishop. I just want to trade it off at all costs, so I take here with the bishop when I should have taken with the pawn and gotten rid of my isolated pawn and have this like kind of pawn island here and pawn island here. I mean, I guess this isn't horrible, but it's not too good either. But okay, here I thought I thought I was losing here, honestly, and I thought for like maybe 30 minutes, and that's when I found the move bishop e8. I think this is the only move in the position that doesn't lose, and I was calculating all sorts of things. I was calculating takes, like rook d8. I was even thinking rook f7 until I realized that just hung the piece. And then like rook c8 stuff, like all this stuff is just doesn't work out because he can take and take, and I'm losing this pawn or I'm losing my queen like this. So bishop e8 is okay. Bishop e8 is a great find by me, I feel, but yeah, here, and I'm really glad when he did this because now after bishop c6, all the pressure is gone, and I'm honestly pretty comfortable here. And queen b3, not too much to be done here. This is kind of like an interesting exchange. He takes here because just to grab a pawn, and he wins the piece back. And here he offered me a draw, and I'm more than happy to take this draw because, you see, my king is kind of stranded here. I have to try for rook f7 to bring my king up like this, but he's going to bring his rooks like something here. And I mean, it's theoretically a draw, but white has much more winning chances than me. So I'm more than happy with the draw here. Even though it was against a much lower rated player, a draw was all I could manage. I did make some pretty big mistakes, so like not taking here because this is just a free pawn, and I think if I had taken here, it would have shaken him enough to where I could have just won the game honestly off of this free pawn, because I think he would have gone for this. He would have gone for this and missed knight d5, and this just probably wins for me on the spot because I trust that I'm good enough to convert this position, but I just didn't, like, I wasn't confident enough to play this move because I trusted in him enough that queen a4 won a piece. But I should have trusted in myself more instead of my opponent. Okay, this next game is actually the last game of the tournament. At this point, I have 2 out of 3 points, and I really want this win because I'm against an 1800 rated player. This is the only opponent that I played that was higher rated than me, and I felt that I had a brilliant sequence in the middle game, but I just failed to convert it so poorly, and the pressure got to me honestly, and the time pressure combined with like all the little kids that were watching me that were like 4 feet tall, it's just okay. We go into Sicilian, and again I'm looking at Anish Giri's E4 against the Sicilian course. I'm really liking this course, and this is what he recommends against the Taimanov. And the only lines that I've looked at so far are knight f6 castle and bishop b4 and d5. So when he played b5, this completely surprised me, took me off guard, and I had no idea what to do. I felt like long castling was the most normal because it's what Anish wants me to do against knight f6, which is like what we mainly do. But actually, what I should have done is just take, and let's say he takes. Wait. Say he takes like this. I think I play queen g3, right? Yes, queen g3 is what I'm supposed to do if d takes and if queen takes. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. The point is I'm supposed to take this knight, but I don't do that, of course, since I have no idea what I'm doing in this line. So I castle, and this gives away. This just equalizes. I mean, this engine says I'm slightly better here, and I agree with it if I hadn't had castled. But this allows him to go bishop b7 and have a pretty comfortable position. And now I play queen g3, which isn't as accurate, and my opponent kind of looked at me confused because he thought that after take b4 he's winning a pawn, and I thought so too. I was honestly trembling. I was quaking here because I thought that I was losing a pawn, and in these kinds of classical tournaments, a pawn isn't enough to win the game. So I was honestly really scared here. But I felt that I did have some counterplay after knight a4 and knight b6 because this rook does not have a lot of squares to go, and if let's say he goes here, this immediately wins, and I was like honestly praying that he played this because this just wins an exchange and a pawn. So I mean, I had really hoped that he played this, but unfortunately he played the most accurate move, rook d8, and unfortunately for me again, I immediately blundered with bishop a6. And this only gives away some of my advantage, but unfortunately for me again, I spend 30 minutes thinking of this position and play rook g1. I really wanted to play rook h4, and I don't know why I didn't. I just had spent too much time on this position, and I just wanted to play a move. I felt like it didn't matter, so I just played rook g1, but I should have played rook g4 or rook h4 because it's just much more active here, and I think this would have helped me. I honestly think I could have held this for a draw or maybe even a win if I had played this earlier, but I don't know why I played rook g1. It completely tied down my position, and it's really bad. Bishop c6, and here I felt like I had a brilliant sequence after knight c8. I'm winning in exchange here because I'm attacking this, and the idea is his bishop can't go anywhere without me playing bishop b5 and skewering here. So he plays bishop a4, I go b6 to kick it out, and now I'm simply just winning in exchange. Here I was super confident. I felt like I was winning. I was up in exchange. I had an exchange for a pawn actually, but I felt like I could win this, and I kind of got overconfident, and I felt like no matter what I did, I was gonna win because I'm up in exchange. So I didn't really realize that he has a 5-on-2 on the king side, and that's just kind of catastrophic, honestly. Like, I need to push my passers. I need to push these pawns and make two passers as fast as I can to put some pressure on him. But I just completely failed to do that. I first take my time to stop the threat of knight e4, and I take my time again to play knight b3, try to reroute here. And I should have just been pushing my pawns all along. I should have played king b2 and just started pushing these pawns. I don't know why I didn't. He castles, which is a great move, just bring his rook in, and he just gets this bishop pair. Oh my god, this bishop pair is just so annoying, honestly, because my rooks, since they're high value units, I can't like trade them for a bishop, because then I'll just lose material that way. And his bishop pair just dominates me on these diagonals. Like, he's just completely controlling these pawns and tying down my position. So I wish we could just trade everything off, but it's hard to do that. And here, I still felt like I was better because I'm up in exchange, but Engine says it's -2, which is almost completely lost for me. And for some reason I played this move. I literally have no idea why I played this. I was in time pressure. I think this was honestly the last game in the entire playing room, so everyone was watching us, and I was just really nervous, honestly. I still can't explain why I played this move. It just allows knight d5, and knight c3 is coming, so it's bad. Here kind of gets away from the fork, but it's bad. And after rook f1, I stopped notating because I had like 10 seconds left on the clock. But I mean, it's completely lost. No matter what I do, he's just completely tying down my position. He's gonna win these pawns. He's gonna push his pawns. He's gonna make a queen. He's gonna, like, this knight is tied down here. I'm basically playing down 3 pieces because everything is tied down. His bishops are extremely active on these diagonals. The bishop pair is just killing me, and my only good piece is this bishop, and it's not even, I mean, honestly, it's not doing anything. This is dead diagonal, and this doesn't control anything. So I'm playing down 4 pieces, and he has, like, these are the most active pieces I've ever seen. Like, I just completely misevaluated the position and completely folded under time pressure. But mark my words, I'm gonna lock in, and in 2 weeks there's another tournament, and this is an open tournament actually, so I don't have to play against little kids that are like 3 feet tall. I literally played against 3 tiny Asian kids that were 3 feet tall or something like that. It's just insane. But I'm gonna lock in on my openings, on my tactics. Trust, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna win that tournament. Trust me.